Hello, 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 and welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. I'm your host, Havok, and today we are doing another solo episode because Frozencreek, my lovely co-host, is busy moving, and because of that, he can't join me today. But I'm going to run down some Cloud9 news and whatnot with you guys, so hopefully you enjoy it. The first thing we're going to talk about is for the Halo team. It looks like Renegade, one of the star players of the Halo team, is leaving, sadly. Kind of sucks because from the Cloud9 tweet it says 6 titles and just many hours of playing with us, and he's leaving. And I'm really curious to see like how the team goes about replacing him. I don't know much about the Halo scene, but it does suck to see him leave, especially with the fact that we did again win 6 titles with him. So hopefully the team can find a suitable replacement, and then we can get back to crushing it like we usually do. But moving on, I have some Valorant news. And the first being that the Valorant Academy team has apparently been dissolved. I think it was reported that due to financial concerns for getting a franchising slot for Valorant, Cloud9 had to dissolve the Academy team. So I'm not sure what's going on with the players. I think the roster was incomplete anyway, because I think we only had maybe 3 players that were confirmed signed currently for the team. So that team's kind of dissolved. I think the coaches for the academy team have been working with the main team to help the team prepare for the last chance qualifier, which they will be participating in. Their match against Shopify Rebellion is this weekend, or well, not this weekend. Next week. Yeah, next week, August 5th, they will be playing against Shopify Rebellion for the last chance qualifier. Hopefully the team does well. The team has really been struggling somewhat ever since we lost Zeta and Autumn, our former head coach. We have just been kind of struggling to really look like we were in any kind of form. It seems like we're mostly just been just kind of trying to do our own thing, like trying to figure out what roles work and everything. I think we have maybe settled on something now versus when we kind of started playing with Curry, but I'm just not sure how well the team can play. A lot of the players that usually played really well have been looking kind of shaky, and I really don't know if we can do all that well in the last chance qualifier. I'm not sure how deep we can make a run for it. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully the team does play well, but we'll have to wait for next week to really see. I can only imagine if we don't make it through last chance qualifier or have a deep run with it, that I'm imagining there's going to be some bigger changes involved. But we'll just have to see. But moving on to League of Legends, we have some stuff to talk about. We have the hold on, I may have to sneeze. Okay, it died. It died down. Never mind. We can keep this train rolling. We have some results to kind of talk about. Cloud9 played against Dignitas and Golden Guardians over the weekend, and it was our first 2-0 weekend, but it was not what I would call a good 2-0 weekend. To be honest, the matches were really sloppy and were not what I would call good wins. We almost actually lost to Dignitas, which is really concerning since Dignitas I think is only they're 2-9 right now. So to almost lose to a 2-9 team is pretty bad, especially when you're Cloud9. I think part of this comes down to just that the team is very overconfident, and you can kind of tell that they're overconfident in kind of how they play, especially against these lower ranking teams. And it feels just like our game plan kind of right now is to just not throw the laning phase too badly and then scale. Because that seems to be kind of what we're doing, because we're putting Berserker on Zeri for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't really think Zeri is as good as maybe other bot lane choices, just because she's such a short range. But she does pop off in team fights, and Berserker pops off in team fights, so that's maybe why. Which I guess furthers this theory, but we're not really playing for lane. We're kind of just hoping that we don't super lose out, and then we're hoping that we can scale to a point to where we can win a couple team fights, get big neutral objectives like Baron, if we can secure Soul, and then try and win. But I really don't like that. I don't like that. That's I really don't like that. That's kind of been our strategy. It doesn't make me feel comfortable knowing that we have to put us in this precarious spot where we have to potentially lose the game just to win the game later on if it goes long enough. That feels like a cop-out way to win. It doesn't feel like you're winning through macro tactics. You're not winning through drafting tactics. You're winning through just, we have gotten these pieces to where as long as you don't mess up too badly, you can win. And that seems to be the case, at least for right now. I know the Golden Guardians match was kind of bad because Fudge had some really bad plays early on that set him back. And you can't have that happen when you're playing Kayle as a scaling top and you're doing this scaling strategy that C9 is doing. And I know for a fact that if they were playing against EG or 100 Thieves or Team Liquid, this would not happen. They would lose that game. So I don't like that. I don't like that. It feels like Blabber just doesn't have a lot of macro strategies that he kind of does in the early game. It seems like he just kind of tries to make ganks happen, but if a couple of ganks don't work out, he just kind of goes to farming duty, and he'll just kind of try to farm to wait until you kind of get to the team fighty phase of the game. And that's kind of been how we were playing. I will say Jensen's been looking good. He went 3-1-5 on Orianna, and he had some really good shockwave plays in the Dignitas game. He went 7-0-11 on Slia against no, he was already on in the Dignitas game. I got the games mixed up, but on Talia in the Golden Guardians game, he went 7-0-11, which is tremendous. And that's a really amazing thing to do in a game, getting like 100% kill participation and doing some really good walls and stuff. I think he played really well. I think Sven's been playing pretty well as support too. His Nautilus, I think he did a good job of engaging in hooks and kind of soaking up damage and everything like that, as you're kind of supposed to do with Nautilus. So I think he did a good job there. I think we're still kind of struggling with our laning and everything, but if we can fix some big issues that the team has been having, I think the team can do really well against the other top teams. Looking at it from a record-wise of this starting roster, it's technically 6-2. If you ignore the first week, they are 6-2, which is good. But at the same time, you can't just check out those 3 losses out the window. You're 6-5. Plus, you're not really playing to probably the height that you should be. And going into next week, that has me really concerned because this week we're playing against FlyQuest in Team Liquid. It looks like on Saturday, July 30th at 4:30 Eastern Time, we play against FlyQuest. And Sunday at 5:30 Eastern, we play against Team Liquid. And I gotta say, I'm really nervous about these matches. Both teams that we're playing against are tied for 3rd. FlyQuest is looking pretty good. They're kind of popping off, and they're showing some synergy. They're kind of the dark horse for this split, I think, because they don't look like they have a lot of impressive pieces. They have Kumo, Takui, Jose Dioto, Johnson, Aframu, but together, I guess they also have Philip. I can't remember who's been playing, if it's Philip or Kumo, but it's these pieces that that have not been like really impressive individually, but together they kind of come together and they have the whole like greater than the sum of their parts kind of feel to it. So they've been looking really good in that regard. And then of course Team Liquid's just Team Liquid. They have had some struggling wins and they have had some losses themselves, which is maybe a bit hopeful since it seems that everyone other than maybe EG and 100 Thieves are kind of all playing this really sloppy League of Legends, and they're kind of all struggling to edge out wins. So we could maybe have a better time with them, but the thing is, Team Liquid's been playing still really solidly. Bwipo and Bjergsen and Santorin have been playing really well. Core JJ, of course, is probably the best support in the region still, and Han Sama is a really good ADC. So I think it's going to be really tough to really play around FlyQuest and Team Liquid. And it's kind of hard to say that we'll get a win this weekend. I'm really thinking of just saying we'll go 0-2 and move on. We could maybe go 1-1 against FlyQuest, but I don't think we beat Team Liquid. I'm very unsure if we'll beat FlyQuest, considering we struggled to beat Dig, who is 2-9, which isn't good. So who knows? Maybe they'll practice really hard and they can win, but I don't know. But we'll have to see. Hopefully the team can pull off a couple other victories. I think if we win 2 more games, we'll shoot up in the standings. Right now we're tied for 5th. If we get 2 wins and we move to 8-5, I think that puts us in the top. That'll at least put us in the top 4, if not maybe top 3, which I think is really, really good, especially as we're getting closer and closer to playoffs. But the team's really going to have to work for it. The playoff season is dwindling down, and you're going to have to really start putting in the effort. And you can't have any of these cocky almost losses and cocky losses to teams you shouldn't be losing to. So hopefully the team can shape up. But that's all I really have. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Also follow us on Twitter at C9Bodied. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again next time, hopefully with both of us.